Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the 2026 New Jersey International Film Festival Filmmaker Q&A session that we have for you today. We have a wonderful film that we're going to be talking about for the next 25 minutes. We have the lead actor as well as the director and the writer. And before I introduce them to you, I just wanted to let you know that the International Film Festival is in its 31st year. We started back in 1996 after we got a challenge grant to kind of do a festival in the summertime because New Brunswick turns into a ghost town since it's a university college town. And so this way we try to bring folks back into the city. So we have a good relationship with New Brunswick City Market and the university as well as other entities. So we've been doing this for over 30 years. And the festival will be on 2 weekends from May 29th through June 6th. I believe 6th. And there will be screenings all day, hybrid wise, where we'll be doing them online, but there will be a lot of in-person shows at the same time. And so if you go to our website, njfilmfest.com, you just click on where it says New Jersey International Film Festival, and it'll bounce you to our Eventive website. And if you stick around to the end of this Q&A session, I'll show you how to do that too. Well, today we have two wonderful people. We have Taylor Lhamon, who's the star of the wonderful, wonderful film, Sonia and Lisa on Mushrooms. And then we have the director, writer, Vincent Turturro here. And we're going to be chatting about your great film for the next, 25 minutes. I've already interviewed Vincent for EBTV, so you should check on YouTube to check that out too. That'll give you more information as well. But I wanted to say welcome to you guys. Welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
So I was on the jury for this film and I loved it because it's so down to earth, really down to earth. It's a buddy film about a single mom who's kind of going through trials and tribulations of life. And her best friend suggests microdosing on psilocybin. And so, unfortunately, that microdose turns into a macro dose, and we follow Sonia and Lisa on their journey, which basically takes place over the course of a day. And so, my first question goes to Taylor because I already have asked Vincent a lot of questions on my other interview, but we'll definitely ask him some more too here. But Taylor, tell us how you got involved in the making of this film.
This film came out, I guess was birthed out of a film Vin and I worked on before this. Yeah, very much. So we worked on a film called Farmer Al, which was my very same character, still Sonia. Um, and you get to see her in relationship with her daughter in that one, and that's great. So 10 out of 10, recommend checking that out as well. But Vin and I just started exchanging voice memos after we wrapped. And I can't remember what was happening in the world, but somehow we got in the conversation of like, I was hitting this point in my life when like half my friends were married with kids, half weren't, and they both everyone kind of looked at each other and was like, do I want what they have? Do I not want what they have? And it was just this like, this murky space of, figuring out the next step in your life path. And from that, we just kept chatting more and more about kind of this dichotomy between Sonia and Lisa, and each living such different lives, but having such a solid foundation of friendship, and like what that looks like as lives and chapters continue to grow. And then brought in some mushrooms.
Yeah. That
So
was my way of being very topical. I have trouble being topical. I can be a little out of touch. And, while I hadn't experimented with psilocybin in quite some time, it was becoming very Tony thing to do again.
well,
So
my students are definitely doing them because
yeah,
I work very closely with a
mm,
lot of undergraduates, and
yeah,
it seems to be in vogue again. I remember I did them in college as well.
yeah,
And it was a very interesting experience, and I think your film really captures the mood of I wouldn't say tripping so much, but I guess that's the perfect word in some ways, because when you do
yeah.
too much of them you kind of start freaking out a little bit. But I think the friendship keeps them together, during the trials and tribulations of being on mushrooms. So
Absolutely. Yeah, it's an optimistic film.
it really is, and I
Yeah.
thought it starts off really
Yep.
gloomy with
Hmm.
Sonia having a nightmare, and it's a thunderstorm and all sorts of gloomy things, and you see the light by the end of the film without giving anything away.
Sure.
But I also know that Taylor is good friends
Mhm.
with Lauren Pike, who plays Lisa. So tell me a little bit about the relationship with you guys. I mean, you guys knew each other before you worked on Farmer Al, or
Yeah, Lauren is actually how I met Vin. I'm not sure if you worked together on a film or you were developing a script for a different piece with Lauren.
Yeah, only I had only met Lauren virtually
Oh,
for a table read
yeah,
because Luke recommended
yeah,
Lauren, and then that project was pushed to the back burner. And when Taylor was invented for, or when Sony was invented for Farmer Al,
hmm,
I got in touch with Lauren. I said, "Well, them's the breaks, of joining a cinematic universe. You're already encumbered with this Lisa character. Do you know anybody that's as great as you are?" And she said, "Yeah, I'm just the person." And then you and I hit it off. It was similar. The genesis of Lisa was similar with the genesis of Sonia
hmm.
because they were just those characters had just been drawn, and then I had the uh, you know wonderful fortune of meeting both of you respectively so close to the creation of those characters so that there's really no separation whatsoever now, not
yeah. And I'll just say, I think we had the benefit of Lauren and I going back. We've known each other for 10 years maybe now. And so in the same way that you have a friend that can almost be like a sibling where emotions can turn on a dime, the walls are down. We had the great benefit of jumping in with our own kind of backstory. So what often takes maybe takes actors a little bit of time to get to know each other. We got to jump in. And being part of the genesis of these characters, we also got to kind of like mold, yeah, I would say mold them as they grew alongside Vince. So it was really collaborative, which was lovely. It's been
That's
great.
that was going to be my next question. I mean, how much improv did you guys have? Did you deviate from the script that much? And, was that something that was relatively easy to do if that was the case or not? Um, was there, I think there was improv, right? If I remember correctly.
we I think most of that stuff uh, worked itself out in rehearsal.
Mhm.
I think I love rehearsal.
Yeah.
I mean, Taylor's no stranger to it because Taylor's comes from a theater background, and I feel that that's a lot that's been lost for in filmmaking. Especially with the advent of Zoom. Even though we do it via Zoom as well, but there's a little bit of a difference between rehearsing in person and just doing a read through via Zoom. So we made sure that we met at least for the bare minimum in person, all three of us, and really make some serious choices with the script.
Yeah, I would say like when I think improv, I very much think like Robin Williams off the cuff in the moment. I think there was more so of like an ongoing dialogue of like, yeah, let's try this. Let's see how this line
Hmm.
falls. So it was a little bit more of a back and forth, but it definitely, I would say the story stayed true, but Vin is flexible when it comes to the script and trying things out and seeing what sticks. So we definitely had that approach when it came to
Hmm.
rehearsal and sometimes the day of. Yeah.
Were there any difficulties? I mean, what was the scene that was the most difficult to act in, and what was the easiest one?
You guys were in a car at one point. I was not in that one. But I heard that was a tough you can't do air conditioning in a car. There's a lot of
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
So that's when you're driving around in New Rochelle. That was the more
yeah.
difficult scene.
But well, sure. I mean, well, I'd love to hear Taylor's answer there. But
Mm.
day three was car day, which was fun day, and usually on a shoot, especially if it's a shorter shoot, you have at least one pretty fun day where everything goes as planned. And that was for me, that was the yeah, it's always a challenge shooting in a car. And but we did a lot of fun exteriors that day. You know, we did the car scene, we did the scene with the gals running through the neighborhood doing backtrack, and then we did the bodega scene, which was just a blast. That was like, and that was like brinkmanship, where like we had a different location that fell through. That was our backup. We
Mm.
got in touch with the backup. The proprietor of the bodega was just the sweetest guy ever. We were like being so apologetic, like, oh, we'll be out of here in a couple. He's like, you can stay all night. He like had mezcal that he was like sharing with people in the
Yeah.
back. It was just a really fun day. Everything was just like humming along. The whole shoot was great, but
Yeah.
there were days for me, I think day two or something, when we were shooting in the living room and we were doing the prosthetics. That was a really challenging day for me, just because it was just a long day. We just did a lot, and I just can't believe how great
Yeah.
Taylor and Lauren were, just without any sort of flagging or anything whatsoever. It was that was the most challenging and the biggest accomplishment for me.
I just finished teaching the original Planet of the Apes,
Mm.
and they had to go through 5 hours of makeups to get the masks and everything else put on them. So I can just imagine. I mean, the prosthetics in yours in that scene is really great too. And I wondered how long it took to get that stuff on you, and was it
So
a challenge?
I mean, our incredible makeup artist made it portable for us, fortunately. So we didn't have to sit in a chair for 5 hours. I
Mm,
think for me, I had my mask was easier to work with than Lauren's. Hers, I think, just was harder to move and breathe in. So
Mm.
it
yeah.
was a little bit more of a stop go, stop go.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, also the thing about day two was we had an incredible DP as well who was coming in and pulling some really cool shots. So there's always the like marrying of the acting and the like technical dance that goes on. Um, but I think it really works.
Yeah, Nicholas Pietro Nero is the DP,
Mhm.
and he does an excellent job. I asked Vince in our other interview about, how he's able to pull off some of these tricks with the lenses and to kind of distort perspective since you're on the drug, so you want nothing is, everything becomes fluid. And I thought that he did an excellent job. But I guess my other question related to the makeups, I know you didn't do mushrooms for the movie, but how did you study to know how to behave under the influence? Was there a trial period where you had to
Asking
kind of
me to
learn?
incriminate myself right now, Albert?
I'm sorry?
So are you asking me to incriminate myself right now?
It's well, you would be decriminal
Oh,
criminating
that's true.
yourself.
We're good. We're
That's
in the
right.
clear. There's a movement. Um, um, yeah, I mean, part of it was memory, but then also like there was the mapping of where we were both in the story and on the trip, I think, because they're
Hmm.
experiencing so many emotions along the way. So for example, like the bodega scene, um, I don't think I had a line. So I got to just like enjoy the world and the
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
bright lights of the bodega scene and like lean into that.
Hmm.
Um, Whereas other ones, like she's clearly going through some stuff emotionally that's all bubbling up through this experience
Yeah.
she's having. So I think, of course, you want to honor what it's like to like go on that trip, but at the same time, we were mapping the story to make sure that we were still moving these characters along in a way that really, to me, it's very much a character study and a relationship study. So it's showing their relationship and how it progresses through the film.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean,
Totally.
just the sweat and the way that you're able to convince people that you are tripping is really, really great. And I do know I did do a little checking, and you do a lot of theater work, but you also do a lot of film work too, right?
Yeah.
And so, what's the difference acting on the stage versus acting in a film for you?
For me, I think it's the way that you communicate. So theater is so language based, and you're telling
Right.
the story verbally. And then you get a lot more room to play, especially when you get into that close up land of the nuance. There's
Mm.
also something I love about the film process is the benefit of being able to try things and then seeing what comes together in the editing process.
Right.
And really just trying to give um, Vin and Jerome the most options really to
Mm.
sit there and then figure it out. So it feels very, very collaborative in that way, which I adore. Yeah.
Vince, how long was the shoot again? Was it 18 days?
No, no, no. It was
8 days? 4 days.
4 days of principal photography and a
Mhm.
pickup day. So it was a 5 day shoot.
And
Yeah.
did you get Taylor's feedback and Lauren's feedback after you did a first cut? Or when did you
Yeah.
kind of reveal the film to them as you were working on it in the editing process?
Carrie, you might have to help refresh my memory. I pretty sure I shared
Yeah.
earlier cut with you
You
guys.
share, or it may not have always been the full thing, but
Yeah,
you'd give us pieces. We'd also
yeah,
bug you for pieces of it too.
yeah,
We'd be like, "What's happening? What's the trailer?"
yeah,
Show us."
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, they're rock stars at editing, so I would have no idea where to even start. But we
Mm.
did get to kind of like tune in on along the way and see how it evolved on that end.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have a really good script supervisor too, Zane Hopkins, and he's like he's like an appendage of me. He's totally his own person. I'm not trying to, but and and so he takes very thorough notes, throughout the filmmaking process, and they usually they line up pretty well, pretty accurately with my level of enthusiasm in the editing room. So I guess I'm very animated when I like something. Um,
You are.
am I? Yeah.
So the
But
the editing
yeah,
process took how long, Vince? How long was the editing?
yeah. So that was much longer. That was at least a year or something. But that's simply because we have the blessing and the curse of having state of the art finishing facilities at our disposal. But then we are at the mercy of people who are extremely busy and working on really really big projects, and they like our work and they want to help us, but we can't afford to be demanding. So
Right.
it takes a bit, and by that I don't just mean editing. I mean sound work, sound engineering of all
And the
kinds, both
mixing and the
the
music.
mix, the
Yeah.
design, Foley. We had an original score that we had to go to Jersey to watch an orchestra record
Right. I
to
remember.
picture, which is a lucky thing for us, but it's a heavy lift, and color and all that. Very little to no VFX though. To go back to your um, commending Nick's skills as a DP and doing most of those gags in camera, and Alan's wonderful work on the masks and all that.
Yeah.
Really, yeah. I don't think you
And
get
Jose
any VFX.
Jose Jose
Yeah,
Luis Dominguez's music is really wonderful too. And
it's awesome.
I think the way
Yeah.
that you were able to craft this film, which, it is a low budget film, but it doesn't look that way.
Mm,
And it's very personal. It's very intimate film where you're basically hanging out with these two crazy gals for one day going through
hmm.
what they're going through. And
Yeah.
you feel as if you're part of the action, which I thought was really effective. So kudos to you.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Um, yeah.
So Taylor, when you saw the finished product, did it turn out the way you thought it was going to turn out?
Oh, it turned out so much better because I don't think about the like when I'm in it, I'm not thinking about all of these layers like you were saying, like the score coming on top of it,
Hmm.
how things would come together with editing and audio. So it was really cool. And I think when we all saw it together for the first time,
Hmm.
Lauren was with us, and I think we went to someone's house and we all got to screen it together. So
Oh
that
yeah, that was
yeah,
Halloween. That was yeah,
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 it
yeah,
was
yeah. Of
Halloween.
course. Yeah, we were at Joaquim's. So the guy who plays the cutie at the bodega.
Right, right.
We were at his place in Williamsburg in Brooklyn. We
Yeah,
all we all hung out, and then we went to some of us went to a Halloween party, and that was a crazy night. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
that was
well,
awesome.
we're very excited to show your film. Your film is actually showing on opening night, which is a very prestigious position in any festival lineup. So you guys should be very proud. our jury really liked the film, and they thought, it's perfect for a college audience. And I as the curator, I mean, basically, we got over 680 films or something like that, and then the jury, which consists of 5 different groups of students, academics, previous winners of the festival. So if you guys ever want to be jurors, you can. It's a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
work. It's a lot of
that's
work,
cool.
though. I
Yeah,
do warn you. And
yeah.
then we had some press people, and they are the ones that selected the films, and I had to kind of find a home for them. So I posited your film with 3 shorts. One is called Bottom Feeder, by Vito Trabucco, and it's also very trippy, so it fit perfectly. Nate Door's Chemical Meadows is a film about the New Jersey Meadowlands, but it's an experimental document of the place, and he uses all sorts of chemicals to manipulate the film because he shot it on 16 millimeter film.
Oh, that's very
And so
cool.
it looks very trippy. And then there's a film by Patrick Sodergaard, who's from Helsinki, Finland, called Impivara, and it's also very, very surreal. So I think those 3 films lead up to yours very nicely, and we'll have a wonderful, wonderful show. Folks, I'd like to share screen with you now so I can show you how to buy tickets. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can do this the right way for once. All right, and now we are going to share screen. I guess we need to do this first. Share. So this is our homepage. You guys can see that, right?
Hmm.
Okay, cool. And so njfilmfest.com is where you would normally go. Everything normally would have been here pre-COVID. Our festival website would be here. You would click on this button and it would open up on the same website. But now we've partnered with Eventive, and they are our streaming providers. So everything is located there as far as information about the festival, films, film guide, how to buy tickets, and all that stuff. So once you go to njfilmfest.com, you click on that tickets info red button, and it bounces you to this page. And on each page, you get information. So these 4 buttons are really important. But this welcome page is good too. So Vince, when you guys come to the screening, you can register your car by clicking on this parking base link, and you can park in the university lots that are adjacent to the space. So you don't have to, you can park on the street, but then you have to pay because
Okay.
it's a Friday night and they still charge you up till 8 o'clock. So
Ooh, okay.
the welcome page is good to get directions and to get basic information about the festival and to register for register your car if you're coming by car. We're a block away from the New Brunswick train station. So Taylor, I think you're in New York City. If you're coming, it's really easy. We're like a block away from the New Brunswick train station if you're not going to be driving in. All right, so these buttons are really crucial. The schedule button is very generic, text-based schedule of the festival, and you can see the 4 films I mentioned for opening night are there. You can click on the tickets button to buy tickets. And if you want to buy tickets, oh, there we have Sonia. You're looking pretty crazy over there, Taylor. Under the influence photo, and you just would click on, I don't know why it's in French. This is weird. If you want to know more, you would click this button on the left. And if you want to buy tickets, you click on this one. If you've never bought a ticket from us, you need to register, which takes 30 seconds. Tickets are $15 per program, and it's a really great deal because you can watch the films during the day online because the program's available for 24 hours on that day, and then come to the screening, which is at 7 o'clock that evening. So a lot of people do that. Some people just come for the Q&A after because they've already watched the film. Some want to watch the film again. So we have a lot of cinephiles that do that. The film guide gives you basic information about all the films. There's posters for each one. And you work your way down here. We have Sonia and Lisa. And that's the bodega shot.
Yeah, it's nice.
So you can buy tickets from this spot too. Or you can go menu and go back to the welcome page, buy a festival pass, which is $120. If you want to come to see everything, you definitely want to buy one of these. It'll save you money. And the screenings and tickets we've already done. So you've got a pretty good overview of the festival site. And I hope you guys will join us at the screening on May 29th. It should be a lot of fun. There will be a Q&A after the live in-person screening too. This Q&A is for the folks that are only going to watch primarily online, but it's also a way to kind of interest those people who want to know more about the film. So this Q&A will be up on our YouTube page, and that's where you guys are watching it right now. So
Oh, right. Yeah. This one. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Yep.
So, anyway, thank you so much, you guys, for hanging out with me. Just stick around after I pause record, but I want to say thank you for interacting with me for the last 25 minutes or so. And we look forward to screening your film on our big screen.
Awesome. We're excited.
Thanks, Albert.